The big bets in Las Vegas in 2025 are probably no longer on blackjack tables, but on whether you're lucky enough to find a reclining spot in the parking lot. In the middle of the city, once known as the capital of light, hundreds of old RVs, makeshift tents, and cartons have now become the roofs of people who once lit up the soul of this place. Las Vegas once sold the world a dream called the American escape. To escape reality, living like an emperor for a few days. But it seems like that dream is falling apart right where it was born. When casino corporations reported profits, thousands of employees were cut. When billion-dollar projects like Sphere shine brightly every night, hundreds of people set up sleeping tents right in the parking lot that was once the first gateway to the illusion of life-changing bets. Vegas today is the perfect paradox of modern America, a city that is both brilliant and hollow, a place where every LED light is a new debt, every abandoned building is a dream trade-off. Perhaps the real tragedy of Las Vegas is not when tourists stop coming, but when those who once lit it no longer have the strength to dream. In today's video, we're going to walk through that dazzling light to see what Vegas never wants you to see, the dark side of the American dream and the true price of chasing too long in a brilliant fantasy. All the brilliance of Las Vegas starts from the parking lot, where the first workers arrive before the casino lights turn on, where tourists leave with empty wallets but a full smile. But now, the MGM Grand parking lot is no longer the starting place for dreams, but becomes a cemetery of hope. People who used to serve guests now sleep in their own cars. The city once promised that everyone has a chance to win big, now has only one game left. Whoever is lucky enough to survive until tomorrow morning. In the second quarter of 2025, MGM's net revenue in Las Vegas decreased 4% over the same period in 2024, equivalent to about $80 million evaporating in just 3 months. EBITDA fell nearly 9%, equivalent to nearly $100 million in profits that just evaporated in the heat of the desert, as room occupancy rates dropped more than 4 percentage points and table revenue fell below expectations. With a system that depends too heavily on international visitors, especially Canada and Asia, just a small slip of the market is enough to make the whole machine wobble. Tourists complain that sophisticated traps and overlapping fees makes them feel pickpocketed, that Vegas has lost its sense of worth the money. The middle-class guests, who were once the backbone of Vegas, keeping areas like Luxor or Excalibur bustling, are also retreating. They choose to stay home or go to cheaper destinations in Arizona, Texas, even Mexico. Canadian guests plummeted because of weak CAD and reticence, leaving thousands of midweek room nights vacant as if haunted. Even the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas campaign with discount combos and dining credits failed. When people lose trust, no more promotions can pull them back. In that context, other news seemed to add fuel to the fire. MGM's 800 middle managers were cut in just 1 week. Phrases like restructuring or realignment may sound soothing, but everyone understands that behind that is a much colder reality. The tourism industry is slowing down, the middle days of the week are empty, and casino profits decrease significantly. The question is being asked, is MGM sacrificing humans to keep the EBITDA profit margin? And while the balance sheets still try to stay calm, there are 800 real people out there with decades of experience who just lost their jobs and income in just a few days. On local social networks, emotions spread quickly. One person wrote, "My heart goes out to everyone in hospitality right now. This is worrisome." It's not just sympathy, but a sigh from the whole community. Because if the most stable level of management is not safe, what will happen to frontline workers who live on working hours and tips? According to data from DTR, Las Vegas lost more than 4,300 jobs in just 1 month. The sectors most affected: accommodation, gastronomy, and construction. A massive cut creates a chain effect. The rest have to take on extra work. Service is thinning, customer experience is declining, and the midweek strip is increasingly quiet. Road history seems to be repeating tragedy. In 2020, MGM fired 18,000 employees across the system. For many people, layoff loop, rehire, then layoff becomes a never-ending obsession. And now, in the unstable 2025 context, when junk fees makes guests wary, and the international influx has not recovered, many people wonder, is this the next domino falling? Every decision lean machine is a small family tragedy. An unpaid mortgage, a child losing tuition, or an elderly parent no longer in care. Those who were once the most stable employees are now setting up tents under the same building they once called their workplace. And so, instead of loud wind cheers or sparkling neon lights, Vegas is now left with a faint light from a flashlight shining through the empty car parks that were once the golden gateway to the American dream. Vegas was still lit, still welcoming guests, still talking about the miracles. But behind the stands, the people who lit it quietly sank into the night. Once the heart of the Vegas dream empire is now playing a game where nearly every piece is at a disadvantage. The group was dropped from the S&P 500 index, saddled with $12.3 billion in debt, and officially entered its deepest recession in decades. With an empire once hailed as the home of winners, this fall has the bitter aftertaste of breaking promises not only to shareholders, but to tens of thousands of workers who once considered this place a fulcrum. About 50,000 Caesars employees are being pushed to the edge of losing their homes and jobs. In Clark County, rents have nearly doubled in just 4 years, while the homeless rate has increased by 12%. People who have welcomed guests, served parties, and cleaned the casino floor now have to live in an RV or set up tents right in the parking lot of the place where they used to work. That scene is a cruel reminder. The Vegas dream, where everyone has the opportunity to change their lives, is turning its back on the people who built it. In an effort to combat drowning, Caesars sells the World Series of Poker and the Link Promenade to spin cash, but that's only a short-term solution. Deeper cracks still smolder. Operating costs swell, profits decline, customer confidence disintegrates. Standard room prices at Caesars now exceed $300 night, with a resort fee of $55, the highest level in Vegas. Every night here is now a test of faith. Do guests still feel like is worth the money when extra fees are charged for services they don't use? Tourists who used to be loyal groups, especially Canadian guests, now also leave. With weak CAD and total team cost 25–30% more. A 3-night Vegas trip now takes across Europe, so why should I go see the fake Eiffel Tower when you can go to real Paris for twice as cheap? It is not just an ironic statement, but a verdict for a model that has lost its reason for existence, selling illusions at real prices. Like MGM, Caesars also participated in the Welcome to Fabulous campaign with a 50% discount, giving away $250 in food credits. But the result was still a customer turnaway. No one believes that a good deal can save a lost soul experience. The more incentives, the clearer one sees the truth. Vegas is no longer a place to dream, but a place to calculate. Meanwhile, Nevada recorded more than 72,000 unemployed people, most concentrated in Las Vegas, and thousands of Caesars among them. Every day, more RVs appear in parking lots around the Strip, with workers who once wore Caesars uniforms inside. In the middle of the desert night, they cook with a mini stove, share water bottles, and try to maintain the remaining dignity under a faded green tarp. From Caesars Palace's marble palaces to old cars out in the parking lot, Vegas is exposing its nakedest paradox. A city built on the concept of luck is now playing a card game that everyone, from boss to housekeeper, all pay the price. The Caesars Empire, once a symbol of victory, has now become a testament to an economy that only knows how to add and subtract profits and forget about people. And when Caesars' parking lot turned into a temporary shelter for the people who worked inside, people realized that there are hands that, even if they win, are still a failure. Because what is lost is not money, but faith. In the morning of September 2024, amid roaring explosions and rising plumes of smog on Tropicana Avenue, 67 years of Las Vegas memories were officially wiped out. The Tropicana, building that was once the classic gem of old Vegas, collapsed in seconds, leaving an empty space, preparing for a $1.5 billion baseball field. For many citizens, it is not just the demolition of a casino, but the death of a period. The last 700 or so laborers left Tropicana before the door closed forever. Many of them have worked here for decades, saw the brilliant nights of 70s Vegas, when Frank Sinatra was a household name, and each table was a little stage of the American dream. They left not only because they lost their jobs, but because part of their memories were taken from the building. Today, the place that used to welcome millions of visitors every year is now just a windy, empty construction site. Piles of rubble and signs, future home of the A's stadium. The rooms, once full of laughter, the sound of slot machines and the smell of cigarettes, now only dessert dust covers the cold concrete. Locals call this demolition collective memory erasing blast. To them, Tropicana is more than just a hotel that is the line between past and present. When the building collapses, what is lost is not just the architectural heritage, but the feeling that belongs to of a generation. A resident of Henderson shared, "I once took my wife to Tropicana on my honeymoon. Now that place is just a lot. I don't recognize Vegas anymore." Tropicana used to be a place where workers, musicians, and budget tourists shared a common space. An icon for Vegas that was simple, intimate, and full of human energy. Its replacement by a billion-dollar stadium where only a few can afford admission makes many feel Vegas is trading the past for an unfamiliar future. That explosion not only destroyed a building, but also caused a mental domino effect. People talk about old Vegas as a lost relative. Many older workers leave the city, bringing with them the feeling of being replaced, that Vegas no longer belongs to the person who built it. And now, as dusk falls on the avenue that once lit up with red lights, only steel fences and new ballpark billboards remain. Tropicana was once a promise of glamour, is now just a symbol of intentional forgetfulness. If Caesars is a symbol of decline, then the Venetian is a symbol of emptiness. From the outside, the complex remains splendid. White stone bridges spanning the blue channel, angel-painted ceilings, light reflected from thousands of chandeliers. But entering the middle of the week, a place once bustling with tourists' laughter now echoes lost footsteps. Venetian, luxury paradise in the middle of the desert, is gradually becoming cold. Room occupancy rates plummet on weekdays. Many hotel areas had to close floors. Restaurants and shops in the complex had to shorten opening hours, and staff had their shifts reduced. In the halls, the dealer sits and waits by empty tables, while the lights remain lit as if trying to apply a flashy coat of paint to the solitude. Visitors describe this place in 2 words: is beautiful but cold. The problem is not in the facilities. Venetian is still lavish, still delicate, but in the feeling of losing soul. When the middle class, guests who once created the energy of Vegas, can no longer afford to return, the city loses its heartbeat. Those who still come to the Venetian are now mostly business guests, conference guests, or people who come to look back at the time, not to enjoy. Feeling is worth the money. What was once the foundation of the Vegas experience is gone. A Venetian vacation is no longer about self-indulgence, but a cost problem. The total bill after 3 nights, with enough surcharges and taxes, made many people exclaim that here is no longer fun, and once the joy is no longer felt, all light becomes meaningless. In the spacious hallway, the promotional signs "Stay longer, save more" seem to sound a silent plea. A waiter shared, "We still laugh with guests, but less people every week. It feels like serving in a dream that is gradually fading." And in that silence, Strip seemed to be losing its ego. In places that were once bustling, only the lost footsteps of nostalgic people remain. If Vegas no longer makes people feel alive, then what's the point of being flashy? And who will fill the empty rooms in the middle of the desert that are getting colder every night? In the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, Circus's giant red clown symbol still flashes neon lights every night, but inside, the laughter is gone. What used to be the city's oldest family hotel, once echoed with children, circus music and popcorn, is now left with an old, tired and sad Vegas. Circus Circus was once the home of working-class Americans who wanted to take their children to the magical city of and still have enough money to go home. But over time, hotel ages with old customers, rooms are degraded, furniture is old, and the roof is peeling. The price of $38 night, that used to be a symbol of the lovely budget, is no longer an advantage because people who have booked rooms here no longer have enough money to travel. In the rear parking lot, which used to be full of families' cars, now there are old RVs and makeshift tents. Some people who used to be housekeepers, security guards or performers now live temporarily in the same place where they used to work. They didn't leave Vegas, simply because there was nowhere else to go. Inside, the circus that was once the heart of the resort is now down to a few sparse performances. An old circus artist whispered, "We still laugh on stage, but the audience is getting smaller and smaller." The applause rang out as if echoing from the past. The remaining staff have to perform many tasks. The waiter cleans the room and always cleans the lobby. Security guards help technicians. Everyone is trying to keep something that no longer exists for sure. Families who once chose Circus Circus for its warmth are no longer coming back. Airfare, room and board, and taxes make a family vacation in Vegas a luxury. Children today watch videos of this place on YouTube, but no longer run on carpeted hallways like previous generations. Part of the game area is vacant. Part of the hotel tower turned off the lights completely, and the rows of old colored lights on the clown sign flickered, as if Vegas's own smile was tired. Circus Circus is not a story of money or financial failure, but a story of people who have lost faith in joy. In the Las Vegas night sky, the Sphere shines brightly like an artificial moon. With a construction cost of $2.3 billion, this is the highest tech project the city has ever created, with of more than 1.2 million LED bulbs, each of which can display images at a resolution far exceeding even IMAX screen. Every night, this giant sphere changes continuously. Sometimes it's the eyes, sometimes it's the earth, sometimes it's the giant smiley face that illuminates the strip. But in the light of that is a harsh truth. The sphere is losing more than $100 million per quarter, right in the early stages of operations. Vegas residents call it Hollow Moon, glowing outside, but empty inside. While luxury brands vie to buy every advertising time slot on LED surfaces, just a few streets away, long lines of tents and RVs still line up close together, where laid-off workers try to survive harsh summer. Looking back from afar, that scene is the perfect opposition between technology and people, between light and darkness. For many locals, the sphere is no longer a pride, but a symbol of separation. A structure built to breathes new life into Vegas, but reflects the paradox this city is stuck in. The brighter the light, the dimmer the people become. When Vegas used to be built to make people feel alive, now those same people are being replaced with technology by projectors, LEDs, and digital illusions. The sphere is hailed as the step forward of futuristic entertainment, but that future doesn't seem to be for the people who built it. Under the guise of flashy technology, the sphere is a painful reminder of the price of shine, when light is no longer meant to illuminate people, but to hide the emptiness behind. If Strip is the image of the new Vegas, then Fremont Street is where the old heart of the city still beats the weak, yet genuine. It was once the center of Old Vegas, where the first neon lights were lit, where slot machine bells merged with jazz music and workers believed they were contributing to something great. But today, in the midst of the world's most brilliant LED dome, people who used to work in casinos are now sleeping right at the foot of that light. Under the ceiling light, Fremont Experience is nearly 500 meters long and illuminated all night with millions of LED bulbs, are dozens of sleeping bags, makeshift tents, and carts containing all human assets. Many of them used to be employees of Caesars, MGM, Tropicana, the iconic names they used to proudly mention. Now they sit against the wall, watch the dome change color above their heads, and quietly say, "At least it's still bright here. Elsewhere is completely dark." Small stores around Fremont now close earlier than ever. Eateries that once welcomed tourists now only serve a few hasty customers. Many former Strip, bartender employees, receptionists, audio technicians turn to Fremont in hopes of finding work, but most fail. Old Vegas was once a place of opportunity. Now it has become the last stop for those who have nowhere else. Fremont Street is now a mirror reflecting two worlds. Above is fantasy, below is reality. People still sing, still perform, still sell "Welcome to Fabulous Vegas" shirts, but that song now sounds like a request for help. However, amidst the chaos, Fremont still retains something that Strip had lost. Here, people still greet each other, share food, help strangers. Where artificial light touches real darkness, Fremont becomes the ultimate human symbol of Vegas, where memory and reality intersect in the same breath. Las Vegas is still bright every night. Is so bright that you can see it from space. But the brighter it is, the more that city reveals the darkness that lies right under its feet. The symbols of luxury from MGM Grand, Caesar's Palace, to the Sphere are all cracking in their own way. And behind, the parking lots, once the starting point for a dream vacation, have now become the end of thousands of expired American dreams. Vegas used to be a miracle, where people could temporarily forget reality, believe in luck, and live as if tomorrow did not exist. But today, that same city becomes proof that all light, no matter how bright, must pay the price. Because when those who once lit it had to sleep outdoors, when brilliant billion-dollar buildings shined on discolored tents, people were forced to ask themselves, is Vegas still a place to dream? Or is it just a mirror, reflecting America's fading dream? And when the light finally goes out, who will stay to turn it on again? If you have ever witnessed another Vegas, where laughter is real and dreams are still warm, please share your story below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to delve into the hidden corners of the American dream, where the brightest light is also where the darkness begins. The content in this video is built with the purpose of analyzing and discovering that reflects society, not to criticize, attribute, or offend any individual, organization, or business. All data and information are compiled from public sources, economic reports, and reputable media materials presented to help audiences better understand the social, economic upheavals taking place in Las Vegas and America in general. The perspectives and comments in the video are reflective and humane, encouraging viewers to reflect on the current state of life, labor values, and the future of the community that does not represent any political or commercial point of view. Any viewers should receive content with an open mind and freedom of reasoning. Some details may be reduced or reproduced for storytelling purposes, but without distorting the nature of the event. Thank you for following and accompanying the channel. See you again on your next explorations of the hidden corners behind the light of America.